Love is spoken of as if it were sacred, a force that transcends logic, a divine union of souls. But beneath the poetry lies the truth no one dares to confront. Love is not a virtue, it is a transaction. Every gesture of affection, every promise of devotion, every whispered word of forever hides a silent exchange of needs. People do not love because they are selfless, they love because it benefits them. The human heart, though wrapped in the illusion of purity, is guided by what it gains: comfort, validation, pleasure, safety, or escape from loneliness. Love in its truest form is a negotiation masked by emotion. When someone says, "I love you," they are rarely confessing unconditional devotion. They are saying, "I need you to make me feel whole. I need you to protect my insecurity. I need you to mirror the image I want to believe about myself." These are not acts of pure sentiment. They are bargains for psychological survival. Even the tenderest emotions often serve a hidden purpose. We love not for who the other truly is, but for what they awaken within us. It is the illusion of connection that draws us, not the truth of the person. Love becomes a mirror reflecting the parts of ourselves we crave to see. Human nature disguises selfishness in the language of romance. We call it sacrifice when we are merely protecting our own need to be needed. We call it loyalty when we fear losing what defines us. We call it devotion when we are addicted to the comfort of another's presence. Strip away the softness of words, and love is revealed as a form of exchange. The giver gives to feel valuable, the receiver accepts to feel desired. It is a mutual dependence built upon emotional trade. Those who understand this truth learn to see affection not as divine, but as strategic. Observe how swiftly love fades when it ceases to serve purpose. When admiration turns into indifference, when the benefits diminish, when the illusion cracks, the warmth of affection cools into distance. The same lips that once whispered promises can speak words of betrayal without remorse. What changed was not the person, but the utility. Love lasts only as long as it remains profitable to the heart that offers it. Those who depend on the constancy of love are bound to suffer, for they mistake human emotion for moral principle. People love the reflection of themselves they find in others. When that reflection grows dim, they turn away to find a brighter mirror. Even the most passionate vows are built on shifting sands, for desire is tied to perception, and perception to advantage. The one who chases love becomes a beggar at the door of those who have learned to sell affection well. They believe they are chosen for who they are, yet they are only chosen for what they provide. To love blindly is to forget that the human heart, though capable of warmth, is guided by calculation. Love's purity exists only in imagination. In reality, it obeys the laws of exchange, where every affection conceals a purpose, and every promise carries a price. Desire lives in the distance between wanting and having. It feeds on mystery, absence, and the illusion of possibility. What people crave most is not the thing itself, but the thrill of pursuit, the silent tension of almost having it. The human mind is wired to chase, not to keep. The moment possession begins, desire begins to die. The chase gives meaning, the capture gives boredom. It is not love that holds power over the human heart, but longing. The flame of passion burns brightly only when it is starved of satisfaction. Once fed, it dims, leaving behind the ashes of routine and indifference. Human nature worships what it cannot possess. The unattainable draws admiration because it keeps the imagination alive. People are fascinated by what eludes their grasp, for mystery gives depth to desire. When something is distant, it can be idealized. We can fill the unknown with perfection, create beauty from illusion, and convince ourselves that fulfillment lies just beyond reach. Yet once the object of longing becomes real, its flaws emerge, its allure fades, and the mind begins to wander again toward the next illusion. The tragedy of desire is that it dies in the arms of possession. The heart finds excitement in uncertainty. It needs tension to stay alive. When someone finally reciprocates affection, the game ends and the mystery dissolves. The excitement that once consumed the lover turns to comfort, and comfort turns to complacency. What was once rare becomes familiar, and the familiar becomes ordinary. This is why many destroy the very love they once chased so fiercely. They confuse the fading of desire with the loss of love, not realizing that desire cannot coexist with security. Passion requires risk, uncertainty, and distance. Without those, it suffocates under the weight of predictability. People fall in love not with reality, but with potential, with what could be, not what is. The unknown invites fantasy, and fantasy is stronger than truth. When they finally attain what they wanted, they must face the person behind the illusion, and the fantasy collapses. It is not that they stop loving the person, They stop loving the version of that person they imagined. And so, they begin again, searching for the next dream to chase, the next mystery to solve, the next heart to conquer. In truth, they are not seeking love but chasing the high of pursuit, the intoxication of desire's uncertainty. Desire thrives on distance, and possession destroys that distance. When we hold something too closely, we begin to see it for what it is, flawed, ordinary, human. The perfection we once imagined fades into the light of familiarity, and the craving turns to apathy. The same principle governs all human ambition. Once the mountain is climbed, the view loses its wonder. Once power is seized, it ceases to satisfy. The human spirit is cursed to find peace only in the struggle towards something it does not yet have. To desire is human. To keep desiring what one already possesses is impossible. That is why those who chase love are condemned to restless longing, always seeking the thrill of what is just beyond their reach, unable to find satisfaction in what they already hold. Those who live for love live as servants to the affections of others. They bend, they yield, they sacrifice, all in the hope of being adored. But the one who understands the truth of human nature knows that love is fragile and respect is enduring. To crave love is to seek warmth from a fire that burns out when the wind changes. To command respect is to build a fortress that stands against all storms. Love may make you feel cherished, but respect makes you untouchable. The weak crave to be loved because they do not know their own worth. The strong demand respect because they have already claimed it within themselves. When you chase love, you hand over your power. You begin to act not from reason, but from desperation. You measure your value by another's affection and your peace by their approval. Every word, every silence, every gesture becomes a test of whether you are still loved. This dependence slowly destroys the mind, for it makes you a hostage to emotion. The one who needs to be loved cannot think clearly. They fear rejection more than they fear humiliation. They become manipulable, easy to control, easy to hurt. Their happiness belongs to the hands of those who grant or withdraw affection at will. In this state, love no longer uplifts, it enslaves. Respect, however, does not beg. It does not plead to be understood or cherished. It commands presence. It is not given freely. It is earned through strength, discipline, and self-possession. The person who commands respect does not need to be loved, because respect carries its own form of reverence. Love can be blind, but respect sees clearly. Love forgives weakness, respect demands greatness. When others respect you, they may not adore you, but they will not cross you. They may not always be kind, but they will always be cautious. Respect builds distance, and in that distance lies safety. The world does not reward those who beg for affection, it rewards those who inspire awe. The one who chases love lives in fear of loss, but the one who commands respect is feared by loss itself. Love asks to be held, respect stands alone. Love dies in disappointment, respect survives even in hatred. There are those who will smile to your face while loving you, and betray you when that love fades. But the one who respects you will hesitate before betrayal, for respect creates boundaries that affection never can. Those who depend on love live in emotional poverty. They feed on the approval of others, starving the strength of their own soul. They cannot say no, cannot walk away, cannot be still in solitude. But the one who values respect over love has mastered detachment. They give affection by choice, not by need. Their emotions serve them, not the other way around. Love makes one soft, respect sharpens the edge. The masses worship those who make them feel, but they obey those who make them think. Power does not come from being loved. It comes from being unshakable in a world that bends for affection. Love makes you human, but respect makes you sovereign. When you are respected, even your enemies bow to your presence, for they know your worth does not depend on their approval. Affection is among the easiest currencies to spend, and among the cheapest to lose. People will offer warmth, praise, and attention so long as it costs them nothing. Their affection is conditional, their loyalty transactional. As long as the sun of benefit shines upon them, they will smile and stay close. But when the clouds of hardship appear, when your value no longer serves their interests, they vanish as though they were never there. The truth of human nature is revealed not in prosperity but in adversity. In comfort you are surrounded by friends, in crisis you see who stands beside you when standing beside you brings no reward. Love, in its spoken form, is often an instrument of persuasion. People express affection to gain influence, to secure favor, or to maintain the illusion of virtue. They say they care to disarm suspicion, to appear noble, to bind others emotionally to their will. Yet behind most words of love lies calculation. Affection can be performed, rehearsed, and sold, but loyalty cannot. Loyalty requires sacrifice, and sacrifice is rare. It demands that one place duty above convenience, conviction above gain. Such loyalty cannot be bought with charm or beauty. It can only be earned through consistency and respect. The majority mistake affection for loyalty because they crave comfort more than truth. They prefer the illusion of closeness to the harshness of reality. They surround themselves with those who flatter rather than those who stand firm. But the affection of flatterers is the most dangerous kind, for it blinds the heart to the intentions behind the smile. When their gain runs dry, they reveal their true allegiance to themselves. The wise man tests loyalty by removing advantage. When there is nothing left to gain, whoever remains is genuine. The rest were merchants of emotion, trading warmth for benefit. Observe how quickly affection changes with circumstance. The one who once praised you will curse you the moment your fall benefits them. The lover who swore eternal devotion will find new affection when offered more comfort elsewhere. The friend who promised support will disappear when standing beside you threatens their convenience. Such is the nature of the human heart. Drawn not to goodness, but to advantage. People love where they gain and turn cold where they lose. They may speak of virtue, but they act according to interest. To understand this is to protect yourself from betrayal. It is not cynicism, it is wisdom. Trust slowly, test constantly, and believe actions over words. The affection that demands nothing, that survives loss, that endures humiliation without turning away, that is loyalty. It cannot be displayed in moments of ease. It is proven only in storms. Many will claim to care, but few will remain when caring becomes costly. When hardship comes, affection flees first, loyalty stands last. The eyes that once adored you will turn away when your crown falls, for they were never drawn to you, only to the light you reflected. Affection is the disguise of self-interest, loyalty the shadow of character. And though both may wear the same smile, only one will stand beside you when there is nothing left to take. Freedom begins the moment attachment ends. The more one clings, the more one suffers, for attachment is the chain that binds the spirit to illusion. People believe love is the highest virtue, but in truth, the endless craving for it enslaves the mind. The one who cannot bear to be alone has already surrendered their freedom to the will of others. They will twist their nature, silence their truth, and betray their peace just to preserve the comfort of belonging. Attachment disguises itself as love, but it is dependency in its purest form. It feeds on fear, the fear of being unseen, unheard, unloved. To be free, one must sever the need for affection, not the capacity for it. Detachment is not coldness, it is mastery. It is the art of standing in the midst of desire without being consumed by it. The detached soul does not reject love, they simply refuse to be ruled by it. They can love deeply and yet remain unbroken if love fades. They can give without expectation and walk away without bitterness. This is power, the kind that no betrayal can wound and no loss can destroy. For what can be taken from one who expects nothing? The world trembles before those who love without need, for they cannot be manipulated by affection or controlled by fear. Most people are prisoners of their emotions. They confuse surrender with devotion, need with intimacy, pain with passion. Their happiness is determined by how tightly they are held by another. They mistake possession for connection, forgetting that love is only beautiful when it flows freely. The moment it becomes an obligation, it turns poisonous. True strength lies in the ability to care without clinging, to walk away from what weakens you, and to stand alone without resentment. Detachment purifies love, stripping it of greed and demand until only truth remains. When you no longer chase affection, you begin to see people as they are, not as you wish them to be. The fog of desire clears, revealing motives, patterns, and intentions that were once hidden by emotion. What once seemed romantic now appears strategic. What once felt like devotion now reveals itself as dependence. This clarity is uncomfortable, for it removes the comforting illusions that once fed your heart. Yet through this discomfort, wisdom grows. You begin to understand that most love is not shared between equals, but traded between the needy. Detachment breaks this cycle. It teaches that solitude is not emptiness, but liberation, a place where one discovers that peace does not require permission. The one who conquers attachment gains dominion over their own mind. They no longer beg for recognition or validation, for they have become the source of their own worth. They no longer fear loss, for they know nothing essential can truly be taken. Love, when freed from dependency, becomes a choice, not a necessity. It ceases to enslave and begins to enlighten. To detach is to see the world without distortion, to love without illusion, and to live without fear. Only when the heart no longer demands to be filled by others can it finally rest in the vastness of its own freedom. Human nature moves in shadows, driven not by virtue but by need. We love to gain, desire what escapes us, bend for affection, and betray for benefit. Every emotion that warms the heart carries within it a trace of calculation. To see this truth is not to grow bitter but to awaken. The one who understands the mechanics of love, desire, and loyalty no longer plays the game blindly. They give without illusion, stand without dependence, and walk without fear. Such a person cannot be ruled by affection nor destroyed by its loss. They have traded the fragility of longing for the armor of awareness. To stop chasing love is to reclaim your power. It is to recognize that no heart, no promise, no tenderness can define your worth. Love is beautiful, but it was never meant to be worshipped. It should be shared freely, never begged for. When you see people as they are, self-interested, flawed, and transient, you stop expecting permanence from what was never meant to last. And in that acceptance, you find clarity. You learn that control over others is an illusion, but control over yourself is freedom. Peace does not come from being loved. It comes from understanding love's nature. The heart that sees truth beats calmly amidst deception. The soul that accepts impermanence no longer fears loss. Strength lies not in holding tightly to others, but in mastering yourself so completely that nothing external can shake your foundation. The wise do not reject love. They simply refuse to be its prisoner, to love without attachment, to walk without fear, and to live without illusion. That is the quiet power that no betrayal can touch and no desire can undo.